Hey, good morning or good afternoon, Blue Moose Barbecue Nation. It's been a while since we've done any sort of a demonstration, so we decided to do one on our PitBoss. We broke down and got ourselves a pellet smoker. So just a quick overview of the smoker itself. We've got our main chamber. It's been well loved. It's 4 slabs of ribs across the bottom there, and then you can put snacks or maybe another slab up on top. Under this area over here is our compartment with our pellets. Quite a long smoke out of a completely full compartment. Definitely enough for a couple hours for some chicken in there right now. Then the computer control itself is pretty simple. You just turn it on to smoke for about 2 minutes to let the crucible inside start warming up. You can see it's 35 Fahrenheit right now, or thereabouts, a bit on the chilly side. Other than that, I've used it for a while now. Pretty decent. Been able to get some good barbecues off of it. Mainly use it for ribs, especially when it's 35 or lower. It's a lot nicer than coming out here and playing with the fire ourselves. Yeah, a fine bit of kit. I think I picked it up about 8 to 10 months ago. It was sometime in summer, so June. So yeah, we got about 8 months with it now. Yeah, it's fine. We do find ourselves using it here in the winter months more often, just because we can, we don't have to come out and tend the fire. But we do have a couple of Oklahoma Joe Broncos here for when the summer hits, and then we also have our big trailer pit for when it really warms up. So anyways, as this warms up, I'll come back here on the video. So we're starting to get a little bit of smoke. So at this point, I can turn the temperature up. I'm going to turn it up to 250. So it'll start producing some heat for us, and then I'll cook the chicken somewhere around that 250 mark. I'll decide once it gets going. I'll check back in here in just a little bit. Alright, we've made it up to 250. You can see that most of the water is evaporated on top. So to me, that means we're pretty good on temperature internally. Sitting here just north of 250. I don't know how much I trust that thermometer, but we're in the ballpark. So, got it in now. We've got everything going. I'm going to give it an hour. We'll check back in with it. And, yeah, have some chicken for lunch. Okay, now here's where it gets a little interesting. The last little bit, I've turned the temperature up. I'm going to turn it up just a little bit more. You're supposed to set it to 350 for about 10 minutes or so at the end after you pull your food off, in order to burn off the grease. As you can tell by the beginning of the video, I only do that every so often. I don't do it on every cook, which is why I had a bit of a grease buildup. So we're going to turn it up to 350. I'm going to let it run, but the chicken itself is pretty well ready to go. So see, we've got nice coloration. I'm sure there's some nice smoke in there. I tempered it right before the video so I know that they're done. They're all at least 165 Fahrenheit, so that's legit for making sure that it's food safe, which is of course the primary thing, making sure it's food safe. So now we're just going to let that cook off a little bit because it has been a time or two since I've run it up. Once we have done about 15 minutes, and there's the alarm saying, hey, it's time to pull the chicken. Once we have done about 10 or 15 minutes with it at that temperature, I'm going to come out, turn it down to 200, which you can see 200 there is right above the smoke. That'll basically cool it down. We'll give it 5 minutes there and shut it off. Now for the most part, when I'm operating this, most of the other times I'll just shut it off and it'll shut down itself. It'll cool off. The fan will keep running until it's done. I haven't had any problems with it, but that is the proper way to do it, is to run it down at 200 for 5 minutes before shutting it off. Anyways, pellet grills, there's a place for them along with everything else. We find it great during the winter. We find it great when we just don't have a whole lot of time to manage fire. Otherwise, like I said, we either use the Big Pit or we use these Oklahoma Joe Broncos. But given the temperature and the weather, the pellet grill does definitely have its place. Anyways, thanks for checking out the video, and hope you guys have a great time wherever you are, as long as you're barbecuing.